probably walked past Vincent's many times, not realising the art and creativity that was taking place right above your head in the middle of Wellington's CBD.
On one of the rabbits.
I like it exploring dimensions within layers. You know, like you can keep on going. It was as if you're looking down.
Bring it down here.
Tried lots of different things in the time you've been here, haven't you,
I
Terry?
have, yes I have.
Done some bone carving. What else have you done?
Yeah, I did some bone carving, yeah.
I think you did some mosaicing as well.
Yeah, I did some bone.
I came here, I was told about it by a lot of friends of mine. This is a great space to, what do you call it, come and do art. And I find it really helpful for my mental health, that's number one. Well, I've got to meet a lot of great people, a lot of great artists that you know, come from all walks of life, some with mental health issues, some without. And they've all got different abilities, which has helped me grow. And the main things, you do need a studio space like this that will show you different possibilities of how to go forward with your art. It's wonderful. I love sculpture, and he's one of the carvings that I've been working on. It's a scrap piece of wood. I work on a lot of scrap pieces, and I like to bring it back to life. This is going to be called ngāhere, which means forest, and I've done like a tuatara on the other side.
My name's Glenn McDonald. I'm the coordinator of Vincents Art Workshop. I've been the permanent coordinator for getting on for 11 years, I suppose. But I've been involved with Vincents for 17 years, 17 coming on for 18 years. Vincents was established in 1985, and what was happening in New Zealand at that time was that a lot of people were moving out of mental health institutions into the community, was what they called community care. And some of those people had been doing some art programs in the mental health institutions during the 80s, and there was a small group of people who ended up living in the community in Wellington who wanted to keep on doing art but had nowhere to do it. There was a woman at that time who was a social worker with the inner city ministry, and they used to go around to her place and hang around her kitchen table and start painting, and they were slowly taking over her house, and in the end she said to another social worker, but we've just got to get these people somewhere where they can do art, and anyway I need my kitchen back. So that was the beginning of why Vincents was created. So the inner city ministry umbrellaed Vincents for a year, and then Vincents became an incorporated society. The reasoning was that it was in honour of Vincent van Gogh, who had mental health issues and was a great artist. In 1993, I was my children had grown up and left home, and I was doing some disability studies at Teachers College in Wellington, and somebody dragged me into Vincent's, and I started skipping classes in my diploma course and hanging out at Vincent's in the pottery room and listening to people and talking to people and hearing their stories. The one thing that really struck me in that very early time was that the people I was talking to weren't pretending to be anybody else. They were people who, for various reasons, life experiences, had dropped their masks. Now, because I find what's underneath people's masks really fascinating, I was, totally captivated. People find out about Vincent's in so many different ways. Sometimes somebody's just walking down the street and they see our sign and they're curious. And as soon as they manage to be brave enough to come through the front door, there's always going to be people who'll welcome them in.
Everything's right with the world when you come to Vincent's. It doesn't matter what's going on out there, it all comes right when you come to Vincent's.
Other people hear about Vincent's through the many networks that Vincent's has, and amongst community groups, mental health services, the arts scene. They put flyers out at the local Citizens Advice Bureau, so quite often visitors to Wellington, tourists, might come across those flyers and they'll turn up and spend time here. Funding's always an interesting challenge at Vincent's. We've been very good at operating on the smell of an oily rag for years and years. We get 44% of our funding comes from Ministry of Social Development, and we contract with them to provide a service for 80 people with a disability each year. And as I say, 44% is at least a big shortfall for our operating costs. We have ongoing funding, 3-year funding grant with Wellington City Council. We have a very good relationship with Wellington City Council. They're really supportive of what we do. The rest of the funding comes from applications to philanthropic trusts, charitable trusts, anything like that. A few donations. Any way we can scrape it together, really. All the art materials, art activities, equipment is free, and that is part of the accessibility, I think, of Vincent's. Over the years people have said, you could just charge a little bit. I always think that if money was, a barrier to being here, then that makes it less accessible, and we work really hard to make Vincent's as accessible in so many ways all the time. Probably write a book or many books about how Vincent's has impacted on people's lives. I have just seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people come in, and by being in the environment, by having the courage and the support to explore their own creative process, have totally turned their lives around, have felt maybe for the first time in their life that they are of value. And one of the reasons for that is that their work is valued, and if their work is valued, and if their work is truly from a deep part of themselves, then logically it means they're valued, and they are. And sometimes that's the one thing people need to be able to establish a sense of self-worth, a sense of self-determination, and a sense of what's possible rather than what's difficult. You can't put a value on that, and that's what keeps me here. That's really the reason I'm here. I just find that more exciting than anything else I can think of doing.
Thanks for painting a rabbit. Yeah, I've painted the rabbit. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Oh. Yeah.